I got something really special for you today, Tyler.
Yes, I'm excited.
So yeah, this is I got you playing some sports games, and I know that's your bread and butter. But today, I wanted to bring this one to your attention. On Super Nintendo, we got Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball. So let's go ahead and start that up. Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball was created by London-based Software Creations and led by Brian Ulrich. Released in 1994, this baseball game is considered by many to be one of the best baseball games ever created. Certainly the best for the Super Nintendo. The game itself came at a perfect moment and was the culmination of America's pastime up until that point. Because, in the same year, the MLB would be split into 3 divisions and suffered from a strike which would cripple the remaining season. You may not have had any more doubleheaders for the 1994 season, but Ken Griffey would be waiting for you there at home on the Super Nintendo.
Yes!
That's some great animation, but that animation there was painstakingly done by Software Creations, the guys who make this game. And what was funny is that they kept showing that animation to Ken Griffey and his wife. And Ken Griffey Jr. loved it, but his wife kept making very different demands. Like, things were just off about him. So none of the stress came from
oh my god,
Ken
this
himself,
looks amazing.
But, it was all his
Okay,
wife.
I'm excited.
All right, let's get started.
All right, sweet. I love that. Man, they don't make. Okay, I'm gonna sound old, and I guess I am old at this point. But like, I miss the player's signature on the thing, like on the main menu.
Oh yes.
Like, don't you miss that? I don't know.
It's so personal.
You're right. It's like
Tommy Lasorda has it.
Right?
Pat Riley
Yeah.
has it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Okay, we'll do single game.
Okay.
Okay. Number of players, just gonna be me.
Just one.
Just one. Okay, nice. How do you change? There we go.
division, yeah.
There we go. And I can't. Wait, I'm confused. Oh, there they are. Okay. We'll do Yankees, and we'll pick a team that I don't hate but respect. No, we'll play the Mariners. We'll play the Mariners.
Sure.
This is so awesome. He throws the ball. That's so sick. Nice. Oh, it's interesting. 19-8 and 18-6.
Right.
Are those just randomly generated records?
So they might be, but if I recall, no. So this game was released in 1994,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if that year means anything to you.
Wait,
regarding
was that the
baseball.
strike season?
That was the strike season.
So that's why.
It
okay.
could be, but it was, if I remember correctly, I believe this game was released before the strikes.
Yeah, and I think, and the thing about the strike season was that I think that was the year the Expos went to the World Series, if I remember, or they were going to, or they're in the playoffs or something.
Yeah,
I said I'm a baseball fan, and now it's like I know nothing about baseball history. So
there was no postseason.
There was no postseason. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the. But there's something happened with the Expos that year. They were really good. I don't remember. Okay. What can I do in the options here? I can change lineups.
You can check your lineup.
Oh, dude. Bench. So they don't have. How do I? Nice. So they didn't have rights to the players.
That's right. Aside from Ken Griffey Jr., there are no actual players who populate the teams in this game. Ulrich states that he was hopeful of securing a licensing deal with the MLB to feature all MLB players. But with the few weeks left of production, only the licensing for the teams and logos were secured. Ulrich and his team would have to create all names from scratch. To get around, the absence of names, there is somewhere in the game a name editor.
Oh, okay.
So, although you couldn't actually have teams, fortunately and unfortunately, it was 1993 or 94 at the time. If you were a kid and you were able to get a hold of a sports almanac, you just spend all day.
It was the same,
every
yeah,
single player.
and that was always the same thing with college football games, and I guess
Right.
any college game
Right.
is. You had the stats and stuff, and the numbers and the face sometimes, but you didn't have the name. But you could just edit in the name and you'd be fine. Okay, well
They have
this.
not only do they have just team edit, yeah, it's on that bottom.
Okay.
But not only do they have They all have made-up names. I think if you go into the team edit, you can see their actual names, but all the names are made up. But they have they tried to get as many names as they could, and they try to relate to them based on where they are positionally. Like in the States, like Texas Rangers has a bunch of like Wild West gunslingers like for their names, and like
awesome.
Detroit Tigers have like Motown like singers and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Houston Astros is like cartoonists and like comic book legends and stuff like that. So.
And this is just, you can just name them. Okay, interesting.
Also, another thing you may notice when you're going to the team selection is that there's 2 divisions.
Yeah.
Instead of what is there, 4 now or 3?
Well,
there's 3.
The thing that confused me, well, there's 2 conferences, right? Or I guess leagues, the American League and the National League. And then in each one you got East, Central, and you got East, Central, and West. So there's 6. Yeah, 6 divisions. That's the word. 6 divisions. Okay. Okay.
Are you pitching? Hold on, national anthem.
Yes. All right, let's see. Can I move like the pitcher left and right? I can.
Okay.
Oh my God. Listen to that.
Yeah. That's good music. That might be on an episode of FM someday.
Yeah. All right. I don't know how to throw specific pitches. So I'm just gonna give him a meatball down the middle just to go.
Give him what's worth. Yeah.
And that wasn't a good idea. Okay, so he singled on an infield. He reached base on. He just popped bubblegum.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Great detail.
Sorry.
Great detail.
All right. Let's see here. Sorry, that was a little too excited.
This is why we do this.
All right. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, and he's playing away from the plate, so I'm gonna give him one outside. And let's see here. That's a ball. That's a strike. That was outside the zone.
That was definitely.
That was outside the zone. Angel Hernandez umping today. That's an easy joke. Okay, I love how these guys are the dude from the bubblegum, chew bubblegum, whatever it's called. Big League Chew.
Big League Chew. Yeah.
the bubblegum that playfully simulates tobacco.
The kids love it. We still do to this day.
Yeah, they do. All right, I'm gonna hold up and hit X here. I don't even know what that was.
That batter's just waiting though. Yep, there it is.
I'm gonna have to
Auto fielding.
do auto fielding because this is so bad right now.
If we had some prep time to figure out how to play the game, it would be a lot better.
Ruins the fun of the show.
Yes, yeah, this is the point. It's a crash course.
All right, he's safe.
When so that umpire, the voice sample when he's making the calls, the voice does belong to a real life umpire, Steve Palermo.
Oh, okay.
Don't know him, but
Nope.
not before my time, but just when I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, what's the score? 6-0. Oh, a hit start. Okay, we're gonna start over. Oh no, how did I? All right, maybe I'll just try and get out of this inning. This is bad.
Oh, man,
that's a fair ball.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I might get him out of home.
Got him.
Nice. That was awesome. He bumped him off the plate. All right, and this is it just calls him Junior.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't use his full name.
Suppose
I
not.
guess. Foul ball. All right, maybe that's what I got to do here. Jam him inside. Nope. How about he just hits one down the line for a gigantic.
Oof.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Just pull him out.
Go ahead and start working the bullpen. How do I? Uh-oh. I think something's wrong with the game.
Oh yeah, maybe. This is emulated.
No, it's original. All right, we'll do
yeah, he looks good. Whoever he is. That's why it just says Junior.
Ken Griffey Jr.'s never been happy playing any old game.
Toss me the ball.
He wanted to play hardball. So any game with Ken's name on it had to have wall-to-wall action. It's Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball, only on the Super NES Sports Network, the one game that plays in Ken's league.
Okay, let's see you hit.
Right now, a special Ken Griffey Jr. trading card comes with a game.
All right, we're gonna do that because this is. I want to bat.
Hey, we can always restart.
Yeah, but this is an original NES. What are we gonna do?
You press the reset button.
Okay, let's do that.
But in order to do that, we have to turn off the camera first.
There we go. Options, and we'll go with on.
See, in 1994, accessibility options.
There you go.
This is not a bad thing, Souls fans.
Okay. Let's do it.
Developers of Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball presents Major League Baseball. Excuse me, I gotta say the whole name, and then stand for the Pledge of Allegiance again. Was developed by Software Creations. It's a studio in Manchester, England.
Okay.
And so Brian Ulrich went over there and was the developer, and he was living there. He had to teach the entire team how to play baseball.
Oh, wow.
Because they, of course, being in another country, he didn't really know how to play.
Uh-huh.
So he had to teach them the rules. He had to teach them how everything works. Ulrich said that they had to build the prototype, so he explained the pitcher and batter interface and how it should work. He had to leave, come back to America for about 3 weeks to kind of like update, the powers that be, how everything was going. When he came back, everything was working, except for when the pitchers were pitching the ball, they were rolling it on the ground. Because in Europe, you play cricket. You don't play baseball, and cricket and baseball are similar to each other in some aspects. So.
There we go.
Nice.
This is going much better now. I turned on auto fielding. I'll let the NPCs take care
It's
of
almost
that.
as if I left you with this game for like 2 days, and you learned how to play it all.
Okay. I'm never gonna get over how awesome it is that they're blowing bubblegum bubbles. That's just the greatest thing ever. All right.
You don't get that type of personality
No,
anymore in
and
some of
it's
these.
and it's also like baseball. Not a lot of other games have that. I don't think any other professional sport retains that like childlike silliness in it. I'm not sure if you want to call it silliness, but like baseball, just because of all the downtime and all and also how close all the players are to the field and stuff like that. So you always see all the funny moments and all the funny rituals and stuff like that. So it's just. That's what makes it so unique, as opposed to something like the NBA, where guys are sitting in chairs or whatever, or the NFL, where the sideline is just packed with people.
Yeah.
You don't. It's in the NBA you have a locker room, in the NFL you have a locker room, and baseball it's a clubhouse.
It's right there.
So the name already implies that there's some kind of like juvenile,
Casuality to
boyish,
it.
like
That's
a
not a
club,
word. Yeah.
as opposed to a locker room,
That's also, I think, something that we've lost when it came to graphical improvements over every succeeding system. Is at a certain point we stopped striving to make games. We still make games, obviously, but we started to strive more towards realism.
Sure.
And so you lose that video game aspect of it, and so that's why I think I kind of stopped playing sports games a lot. It's because the last football game I played, I think, was like NFL 2K5, and that one obviously was a football game, but it still felt like it had aspects of fun to it.
Sure.
Not to say MLB The Show isn't fun; it's very fun, but you once again have that focus on realism rather than just kind of
closer to simulation.
Yes.
And you don't have the Super Mega Baseball is popular, but you don't have any. I don't think you really have any mass market arcadey baseball games like that.
No.
There's Super Mega Baseball. There's the one where you play as a little I think it's made in Japan.
Oh yeah, the little like they got the
little,
big heads and
they kind of look like South Park characters
very,
almost.
very popular.
But you
series.
don't have the exaggerated, like these guys and their exaggerated biceps and mustaches and stuff like that, which is fun and funny, and goes with like the playfulness of baseball. You don't have any games like, or remember NFL Street? I mean, I guess you have games like that in existence, but I don't know if there's any major publishers, because NFL Street was published by EA.
Yes.
So I don't know if you have any major publishers that are doing like alternative arcadey type sports games.
No, and we would, but like we can't have Blitz anymore because of like
licenses,
not just licenses, but
the NFL doesn't
perception of
the NFL doesn't want doesn't want you to break some guy's spine.
Which the MLB tried that with the Slugfest series.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
MLB Slugfest is essentially like NFL Blitz, but for baseball. And those were successful as well. But yeah, we don't have those type of arcadey games anymore, because
at least from major publishers. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's why they don't get as popular, is because the smaller companies.
Oh
don't.
my! What a
Wow.
That was a 45-mile-an-hour.
That could have been a home run.
That's gonna be a double play.
But yeah, we don't get the marketing to make those games successful from those smaller publishers. So now, as a quick addition to like the names for the players here in the game, Nintendo did release a port, or not a port, but a portable for the Game Boy version of this game.
Okay.
It was in '97, so several years later. But by that time, they were able to get the licenses for all the player names and stuff. So the Game Boy version does have all the player names, but it only has one field, because the limitations on the cartridge. They can't put everything in it because of how small it was, so they had to cut out some things. So, which it's not the worst thing to cut out, in a baseball game. I'd like to have all the players rather than all the fields. It's a diamond.
So, and that's the other thing about baseball that makes it different is, a football field that's like 53 yards across and 120 if you count the back of the end zone down, right? NBA, all the courts are the same and stuff like that. But baseball has all these different, like, now the outfields are going to be different, not just the distance, but also the dimensions, right? You have little tiny corners. And I think Minute Maid Park, I don't know if their stadium's still called Minute Maid Park, but it used to have a hill in the back, like a little tiny hill back in the corner. The Diamondback Stadium. So you have the Red Sox, who have that big, ugly left green monster. The Diamondbacks have something similar.
That Fenway?
Yeah, it's Fenway. The Diamondbacks have something similar in center field, where they have a big green wall in directly center field, but the designation for the home run area of that goes up. The line goes. Sorry, I'm explaining it poorly. There's a yellow line that designates what is a home run and what is in play.
Right, yeah.
And when it hits that wall, the line goes up.
Okay.
So if you're an outfielder, there's a point where if the ball is 5 feet above your head over here, it's a home run. If it's over here, it's going to bounce off the wall and it's still in play.
So you keep that.
So
in your mind.
and if you travel around a lot, and so if you're a Major League Baseball player, you travel around a lot. That's one of the intricacies of the sport that a lot of people
keeping
love.
That in your head
is you have to know what the dimensions of the outfield, and you kind of have to remember, when am I going to hit the track? What balls are usually going to be home runs that I may have to play off the wall and stuff like that. And then in infields, son of a bitch. Is that all right? Well,
ooh.
In infields, if the grass is closer to like the first base and third base lines, that can mean different things, because the baseballs will obviously roll better on dirt because there's nothing there to stop them, where grass will slow it down. So if you're playing on a field that has more dirt on the lines, which I don't think there's a standard for it, that means it's a little more. That means the threat of a bunt could be a little bit more dangerous, because that ball could roll more than if it lands in the. So there's little tiny things like that makes baseball unique. Because
the way you talk about baseball makes it seem like you don't like football that much.
No, I do. The intricacies in football are not with the field, but with like the offenses and stuff like that. That's where, and baseball is also hugely a mental sport. Right? Because in football, you've got the average play lasts like 5 seconds, and all sports are mental, but you don't have a lot of time all the time between plays. Baseball, Now they have pitch clocks, but even then it's like, I don't know, what, 15 seconds or something. You can go an at-bat, and the at-bat can take 5 minutes. And, and most of that 5 minutes is standing there and wondering, what's he going to throw?
Yeah.
And if you're the pitcher, it's, what do I throw next? What's he think I'm going to throw? That kind of thing. So a big chunk of it is mental.
So I got to tell you,
Should not have gone.
I'm going to get a little sappy here. Not sappy, but I'm taking a look at the Ken Griffey Jr. like manual for this game.
Yeah.
This is one of the greatest manuals I've ever seen in my life.
Nice.
And this is like, I think one of the greatest gifts I could ever give you, if I were to give you a gift, like ever, is to find this manual and give this to you, because this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And I'm not going to show it to you.
Okay.
You're just going to get it on your birthday or Christmas.
Right. But, oh, dude, the
mound is different. Or not mound,
the
sorry, the batter's box.
batter's box is all fun. It's like a...
So actually, apparently, every team has its own venue, and sometimes those venues have the special features of those stadiums.
Okay.
So Dodger Stadium slants by the outfield crowd, like the roofing area.
Okay.
Shea Stadium has a minuscule center field crowd and large scoreboard on the right of the field of Comiskey Park. Interesting. And that was something that I missed with the research of this.
There we go. That's my first strikeout. Nice. All right.
Fenway Park's Green Monsters in the game.
Yeah, the Green Monster. And the Green Monster is the one that can be tricky because you don't know, am I going to have to play it off the wall?
Yeah.
And if it hops off the wall, where is it going to go?
Yeah.
Because it's not, because just because it hits the wall doesn't mean it's going to
mean it's gonna
drop.
come right down. Yeah, it can
So you kind of have to be ready for it on
angle.
the bounce. And then as a left fielder, you have to react to that bounce, and then you have to get it on the bounce, turn around, and throw, right?
Yeah.
Which is different because if you're right-handed, right, you're going to catch with your left hand. If try to imagine yourself catching and then turning around and throwing.
Yeah.
It's difficult to swing.
Yeah, your momentum is weird.
It's kind of weird to swing with your face toward the infield, but I assume that's kind of what you'd want to do because you want to see what's going on in the infield, as opposed to a right-handed left fielder,
Yeah.
or sorry, a left-handed left fielder, because you can catch the ball with your right hand and your shoulders are already set, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm doing a horrible job explaining myself. No, that did it. That's weird. I don't know. Am I not? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
The damn cartridge.
Yes. All right, here we go. That's pop.
rough.
That's a nice pop. All right, good. I didn't see the speed on that one. Okay, here we go. 103. Whew. We're gonna give you some more chin music. That's not good. Ooh, it's gonna be a close play at second. Nice.
Very
My
nice.
left fielder might have one of the greatest arms in baseball history.
That was a great throw. You could have caught that.
All right, we're gonna go this. Give him a breaking ball, and
Oh,
that'll
there
be
it
ball
is.
game. Bam. There we go.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Oh, that's a unfortunate headline.
It is. Oh, I can.
Oh, you can scroll, yeah.
Okay. Yankee may miss start with sore elbow. Oh, dude, you look
Very
at
cool,
a
yeah.
newspaper? Are you kidding me?
You satellite.
Nice.
So cool.
Okay, so this is Pirates. Batters. My leadoff was 0 for 4. But look at that. My 9-hole hitter was 3 for 3, so he was on fire today.
Mm-hmm.
And then I only got 1 strikeout. That's a solid 4 1/3 innings pitched,
Yeah.
3 earned runs. You'll take that. You want maybe a little bit more arm out of your starting pitcher, but that's okay. And then 2 2/3 out of a middle reliever. That's pretty solid. And then you got your setup man going an inning. And then you got your closer going an inning. That's basically how you want it. And that counts as a save too.
Yeah.
I forget the different statistics for a save, but one of them is if you're up by more than 4 runs, it doesn't count as a save. That's why, like, if you're watching a game and a team is up by like 5 runs, they won't bring in their closer, because in baseball there's starting pitchers and relief pitchers.
Yes.
And a closer is technically a relief pitcher, but he's a guy you bring in at the very end, and usually it's a guy that throws really fast, has really nasty stuff, but you don't want to get a lot of length out of him.
He's the refresh when all the other batters have been worn down.
Yeah, and then you face this guy at the end that's got this nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay, nice. I feel fulfilled.
And all it took was some accessibilities.
all it took was manual fielding there.
And to think this game almost didn't happen.
In the off-season of 1993, Ken Griffey Jr. signed a 4-year contract for $25 million with the Seattle Mariners, who at the time were owned by Nintendo. So that $25 million was basically Nintendo's money. According to Ken Griffey Jr., Nintendo approached him to star in a new sports game. However, Nintendo denies this statement. The meeting was a positive one. However, afterwards, Nintendo supposedly went silent, possibly due to a Seattle Times story detailing the meeting. This prompted Griffey Jr. to meet with Sega representatives. Upon being asked about the Sega meeting, Griffey had this to say about both meetings. They, Nintendo, had first crack at us. You can't sit and wait for them. I'm not mad at them. It's what they want to do. But we have other companies that are interested. This is a free market. Griffey was due to meet with Sega representatives in Oakland on May 14, 1993. However, 3 days earlier on May 11th, it was announced that Ken Griffey Jr. had signed a deal with Nintendo to create the next big baseball game.
That is legitimately good game. So I don't know what the standard for baseball games were at the time, but actually I'm kind of curious if it shows the differences in the parks. But it was really neat to see. So you had the animation where the guy would jump for the ball. Sometimes he would get it, sometimes it'd be over his head.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because you weren't sure if he was actually going to catch it or not. I don't know if the windups were different for the pitchers or not. But it was interesting to see, because like that one guy that I thought was Gary Sheffield, I don't know if any other batter had like, we'll check out some other random teams here. We'll go Cubs and we'll go Tigers.
Detroit.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Can you go to the stadium?
So,
I mean, I doubt you can because you already selected the teams.
So that's Wrigley. You can choose.
Stadium,
yeah. And you can, but it doesn't. It shows you the pictures, but it doesn't show you if it does like the layouts. Okay, see how the state.
Yes,
it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Interesting.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Well, as we close this out, I'm gonna actually launch that again because it gives off better vibes.
I hope that when I leave here today, or maybe any other day, if you have a moment or two, you hook this up and I'm gonna play an inning, couple innings.
No, that was a lot of fun. Because it's especially with the auto field on, because then it's just sort of more the arcade experience where you're just hitting, you're throwing the pitch. Mm-hmm. So it's a simplified version of baseball. It's got that backyard feeling to it. That backyard baseball, that was another one.
Yeah.
Backyard baseball. And there are still like those baseball like arcade games around today, but they're not as popular. And I don't want to get too into the discussion about like what has happened with sports games and what they are today. I think they're definitely worse than they used to be. But I think specifically why baseball makes such a good video game is because of the silly fun things in the sport, like all the different, like even today's game, if you play MLB The Show and you play at what's it called? You play at an old field. And those old fields were ridiculously spacious. Mm-hmm. So you have an outfield line that's like 450 feet.
Yeah.
You're never hitting a home run, but you'll hit a ton of triples and stuff like that. Yeah. And those fields were real. So I think with stuff like that, with all the different funny things baseball has, it's more, I don't know, it feels like it's maybe equipped more to do like fun video game variants of it like that.
Would you say it's more or less like with Ken Griffey Major League Baseball, it's more of a one-to-one of baseball, how the game
But yeah,
operates
and
itself.
I'd have to play other baseball games of the time. But already in Ken Griffey Jr. there was I was looking at the guy on first, or I was looking at the guys on field, or on the bases to see how far they were leading off and stuff like that. And also I was curious about the physics of it, because I fouled off pitches behind me, I fouled them off to the side, I hit them all around the field. So it would be interesting to learn about like how those physics were simulated.
Yeah.
On I guess what is like a 2D image. I guess all games are technically 2D, but in modern games you have like the ball has a physical roundness to it, and stuff like that, and so it's easier to simulate like the physics of a ball hitting a bat and whatnot. But yeah, I'm curious as to, this also it does remind me of like Wii Sports, because you got the 4 pitches, or Wii Baseball. You got like the 4 pitches, and then you can move your guy back and forth and stuff like that. So I guess that's what I mean when it's like arcadey, is it takes the complexity of baseball, it takes a few of the complex factors and then sort of simplifies them. It's awesome that and I don't know if you can do this in the show. You probably can, but I don't know how. But it's really fun to move your batter along with the pitcher, right?
Oh, as they move.
Yeah, because you can move you can slide in the batter's box, you can slide back or whatever. I am curious if there are any like benefits to that or anything. Like if you want to hit it to one side of the field or the other.
Yeah.
If I don't know, like if you want to try, if you're a left-handed batter and you want to hit it to the left side of the field, if you move back, that means you're going to be swinging on the pitch late because you're closer to the back of the plate. So there's stuff like that's interesting. But yeah, and I think another reason that maybe this game is so well remembered is because Ken Griffey Jr. is just such a popular, and his nickname was the Kid, right? Yeah. So he, in the 90s, he sort of, he personified that childlike, youthfulness, the childlike love of baseball, which other sports I just don't think have. And I'm not sure why it's like that. Maybe it's because, basketball, oftentimes it's indoors. I don't know. So it's like you're playing on a hard surface, so it's loud. Baseball is more like a picnic, Yeah. So there's that to it. And football is very violent.
There's a reason why baseball is called America's pastime.
Yeah. So, and he was the player that sort of personified that for the 90s, right? And so I think one of the reasons that, maybe it's so well loved is because you have a game that's good with a player that was known for personifying that, and so you combine them, and it hits on a lot of nostalgia, it hits on a love of the youthfulness of baseball. Whereas if this was like, Wade Boggs baseball, it may just be, or Tony La Russa or something like that. It may just be like another baseball game. But definitely enjoyed this. Music's fantastic.
No, the reason why the music is fantastic, and I didn't realize it until I checked up on certain things, is that it was co-created, some of the music, by the Fallen Brothers, who during the Super Nintendo and NES era, some of the greatest music.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah. I think we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But yeah, with Ken Griffey Jr. baseball, that ends what I got for you today.
Awesome.
Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball for Super Nintendo. Hey, Cito, could this game be any more real?
I don't think so.
Could this game be any faster?
I don't think so.
Could this game be any more fun?
I don't think so.
Could Ken Griffey Jr. win the series?
I don't think so.
Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball, only on Super Nintendo.